Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for watching today's show. What we're going to do on today's show is get into 4 trade targets that Brett Veach and company can keep an eye on now that the draft is over, now that free agency's kind of come to a halt a little bit. 4 players that could help this Chiefs roster. But before we get into that, name a player that you would like to see the Chiefs go out and trade for. It can be any player, any position of need. Doesn't matter to me. 4 players that you think the Chiefs should go out and get. Let me know down in the comments of this video. Okay, let's get to my first trade target. That is Robert Quinn, the edge rusher from the Chicago Bears. And Quinn is a guy that we've talked about once or twice before, and the trade rumors have certainly been out there for Quinn because the Bears, of course, traded Khalil Mack. There was chatter that for the right price they would trade Robert Quinn as well. That has not materialized up to this point, and they're certainly open to keeping Robert Quinn. But if he is made available, this is a guy who had one of the best years of his career, 18.5 sacks last year, 17 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles. He was incredibly disruptive. He was incredibly productive for Chicago, a team that was not competitive, so his season kind of got lost to the side, when you think about top defensive players last year because the Bears stunk, but Robert Quinn did not. He was fantastic, and let's be honest, the Chiefs have got to get more pressure on the quarterback, so Robert Quinn could be a guy to keep an eye on if you are Kansas City. Now make sure you guys hit that subscribe button here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report because we bring you the latest Chiefs news, rumors, trades, free agency, draft, live shows on Mondays, and much more coverage for you guys. So subscribe, join us. It's 100% free. If you want the best Chiefs coverage here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that sub button right now. Let's go to the next player here, another edge rusher. That is one Danielle Hunter, who has also been linked to NFL trade rumors at times this offseason. I just mentioned this, and I want to kind of expand here. The Chiefs desperately need help on the edge. They just do. I mean, Frank Clark and George Karlaftis, that's it. I mean, that's kind of all you have. And let's be honest, Frank Clark has not been that good the past couple of years. Karlaftis is pretty unproven, actually completely unproven. He's never taken an NFL snap. Michael Dana is a good rotation player, but you don't want him starting. We don't know what Joshua Kando is. We don't know what Edwards, Herring, and these guys are. I think you need 1, if not 2 more edge rushers to help that position out tremendously. That's why I've been pushing the signed Jadeveon Clowney narrative, especially after losing Melvin Ingram to Miami. Danielle Hunter has been one of the most premier pass rushers in the National Football League for a very, very long time. Last year in just 7 games, mind you, 7 games, he had 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, 6 TFLs, 38 tackles. He was very productive a year ago, missed 2020, but then the 2 years prior to that, he had 14.5 sacks in each of those seasons for 29 total in the 2018 and 2019 seasons. This guy is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. He's been one of the most consistent guys when he's been on the field, and kind of like Robert Quinn, he's just kind of been in a spot where he's not getting a lot of spotlight in the NFL up in Minnesota, but Danielle Hunter can really get after the quarterback. Robert Quinn can really get after the quarterback. You get either of those 2 guys, they're instantly your best pass rusher on the edge. Maybe Chris Jones is better from the interior, but either way, you're splitting hairs there. Quinn and Hunter are 2 tremendous players. If you could get one of them, I think that'd be a huge win for Brett Veach, who, as we know, is a very opportunistic and aggressive general manager. Now, today's show is also published on Rumble, as is all of our Chiefs videos, and we are one of the top channels at Chat Sports over on Rumble in terms of followers, and I want that to continue. So if you want more free and uncensored content, give us a follow over there, rumble.com/ChiefsTV. Also, Rumble has tons of content creators. It's a video app just like YouTube. Tons of people upload sports content, news, politics, tech, business, food, other categories as well. Go check it all out. Crypto, I've seen a lot of crypto creators over there. Rumble.com/ChiefsTV. Plus, cool feature on their app, you can listen to our videos or any other video on Rumble while keeping other apps open. So if you get a text, you can open that, and the video is not going to stop playing like it does on YouTube. Otherwise, you got to get YouTube Premium, which who has time for that except for producer Coop. More Chiefs coverage over there, rumble.com/ChiefsTV. Give us a follow over on Rumble. All right, a couple more guys to keep in mind. How about Laviska Shenault Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who many believe could be available to have in a trade? I think he's been underutilized in Jacksonville, but he's still been fairly productive. You look at his first 2 seasons, still has over 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, average of over 10. I think he can increase in that area, give you some more explosive plays. He's versatile as a receiver who can line up in the backfield as well. Could be a McCole Hardman safety valve if he ends up walking after this year. They're not the same player, but you can use him in creative ways like the Chiefs have used McCole Hardman in creative ways in the past. I think Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid would have fun with this player. I think you can be creative. You can come up with some different type of plays to get Shenault the ball in space. And with Jacksonville investing heavily in a couple of receivers in Zay Jones and Christian Kirk this offseason, plus they're getting back Travis Etienne, who's going to do some of that wide receiver running back hybrid stuff for that offense as well. Shenault's somewhat expendable, and I think he's a guy that could be available for the right price in a trade, maybe something like a 4th-round pick. Do the Chiefs need another wide receiver? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Should Kansas City go out and get another wideout? Some of that could depend on how you feel on Justin Ross. Get your votes in, Y for yes or in for no. Well, let's talk about one more receiver then who's been on the trade block according to reports. That is Darius Slayton with the New York Football Giants, who had that great rookie year a couple of years ago. Then his production has slowly declined. He could be available on the trade block because he's like wide receiver 5 now after they drafted Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, with Slayton, unlike Shenault, the Jags would not cut Shenault. They could cut Slayton up in New York, though, so you could wait, see if he becomes a free agent and sign him then. But if you felt good about the player, wanted to secure him for a late-round pick, that could be an option as well for Brett Veach. You look at this wide receiver depth chart, you got a lot of depth here. But if you think a Shenault or a Slayton could give you some quality snaps and some competition, then hey, go throw a day 3 pick and bring him in here. I'd much rather get a guy like Shenault because of his versatility, and I'm just higher on the player. But at the end of the day, you don't necessarily need a wide receiver, even though there are some guys out there. Shenault, Slayton, Jalen Reagor, Andy Isabella, all these guys have been linked to trade rumors, but some of them may get cut as well, and then you'd be able to sign them as a free agent or claim them off of waivers. Okay, so there you go. 4 Chiefs trade targets to monitor moving forward. A couple of edge rushers, vets, and Robert Quinn and Danielle Hunter. I'd be thrilled if Kansas City got one of those guys. Laviska Shenault Jr. is kind of a do-it-all weapon on offense. And then Darius Slayton, who's shown some promise in the past, but's been a little spotty over the last couple of seasons. So what say you? We asked you at the beginning. We'll ask you one more time. Name a player that you think the Chiefs should go out and trade for. I just gave 4 guys. I didn't do any of the big ones like DK or Debo, but feel free to drop those names in the comments and let me know. All right, that's going to do it for today's Chiefs Report. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll have more videos between now and Monday, so stay tuned for that. Hit that sub button. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV.